Hey boys, and welcome to the Week 8 edition of Commissioner on a Couch. Let's get right into the No Huddle. So instead of me spitting out random facts for you guys in the No Huddle, I figured I'd let you in on my little secret. If you'd like to get all the historical stats from our league, just go to the league homepage where you see the standings and the matchups, etc. And look for the Record Book tab. It should be directly under the larger Draft Central tab. And there you can see all kinds of cool stats that Yahoo has archived for us over the years. It's worth noting, though, that Bono's Football's 165 points this week were the most of the season, while the Rafi Bomb's 53-point performance was the lowest total of the season. Also, Bo's 88-point margin of victory was the largest margin of victory of the season, and it was only 8 points off the all-time record of 95. Last thing, please note that the trade deadline, currently set at November 15th, is fast approaching. I'd also like to take this opportunity to say that I am still looking for a number one wide receiver, and to the All Blacks, I think that the offer I sent you was more than fair. Anyways, let's get into the weekly recap. So here's a quick recap of last week's matchups. First off, Chalupa Batmans versus the Rafi Bombs. Not much to say about this one, as the Rafi Bombs put up an absolutely abysmal 53 points. The win, coupled with a Val Venus loss, gives the Chalupa Batmans the lead in the Franco-Harris Conference for the first time this season. After a 2-1 start, the Rafi Bombs have lost 4 of their last 5 and look to be in a pretty bad rut. For their sake, I hope it was just a case of the bye week blues, and maybe we'll see a rebound between now and week 13. Caught Red Hernandez versus the All Blacks. This matchup was a true roller coaster ride, with both teams appearing to have won it between Thursday and Sunday. At the end of the day, the real difference maker here was Marvin Jones, the second-year Cincinnati wide receiver, who scored an incredible 4 TDs and a 36-point performance to lead the All Blacks to victory. Matt Stafford's heroics against the Cowboys are also worth noting in a winning effort for the All Blacks. With the All Blacks and Bono's Football both winning and Red Hernandez losing, the Jerome Bettis division got tighter than it's been all season. All of a sudden, Hernandez has 2 teams breathing down their neck. Walking Des versus Val Venus. The Walking Des may have had a slow start to the season, but it is very obvious that they are not going down without a fight. Kind of like real zombies, I guess. Led by the Cincinnati defense, Colin Kaepernick and Maniga Dez, the Walking put up 139 points against a Val Venus squad that was up against some serious bye week issues. Credit to Val Venus, though, who still managed to put up 107 points, thanks in large part to Easy Breezy and the Denver defense. The win keeps the Walking Dead within 2 games of the division-leading Chalupa Batmans, and more importantly, it keeps them in contention for a playoff spot. On the other hand, the loss dropped Val Venus from 2nd overall to 6th overall because of wins by the Chalupa Batmans, and my password is Taco. Points on points versus my password is Taco. Andy Dalton and Andre Ellington went off this week to lead Taco to a comfortable 126-72 victory against Points on Points. Run DMC also had one of his best performances of the season, obviously against the Steelers defense. While the win only moves Taco up to 5th overall, it also ties him with the Chalupa Batmans for the division lead based on overall record. I'll be honest, I've given Taco a lot of flack this season. A league rookie who was eating up the waiver wire, I figured, come on, the kid has to take his licks, you know? But at the end of the day, this team just keeps finding ways to win, and that hasn't gone unnoticed. Points on Points, meanwhile, has now lost 3 in a row, and things don't get any easier for them with Payne Manning, Julius Thomas, and Eric Decker all on bye this week. Jupe Stars versus Bono's Football. Bono's Football absolutely annihilated the Jupe Stars this week, 165-77. If there was any doubt that the Jupe Stars could turn things around and make the playoffs, I think it's gone now. That's 5 wins in a row for Bo, and I think this matchup may have put the rest of the league on notice. Bo has now scored the 2nd most points in the league, only 10 points behind Red Hernandez, and they've moved within 1 game of the division lead in the Jerome Bettis Conference. As for the Jupe Stars, they have not put up more than 100 points since week 4, and we'll have to start figuring out what went wrong and rebuilding for next season. As commissioner, I will be watching this team very carefully for potential trades that may involve collusion and or corruption. Now for a look ahead at this week. So I had a pretty good bounce back week with a 4-1 record, bringing my season total to 13-12. The trick here is staying above 500, I guess. So let's take a look at this week's matchups. First off, Chalupa Batmans versus Points on Points. Both these teams are facing their biggest bye week issues of the season. Points on Points will be without regular starters Peyton Manning, Julius Thomas, Eric Decker, and Victor Cruz, while the Chalupas will be without Noshawn Marino, Frank Gore, and Hakeem Nicks. As a result, this will probably be one of the lowest scoring matchups of the entire season. After Seattle's performance on Monday Night Football, I have a feeling that the Bucs will see a very heavy dose of Marshawn Lynch this week, meaning Russell Wilson won't be very effective in spot duty for Peyton Manning. On the other hand, I think Kendrell Tompkins will be the surprise performer of the week for Points on Points. As for the Chalupas, the situation is so desperate, barring a trade, which obviously did not happen, seeing as how it's Thursday now, that the law firm will be making a roster appearance. He's projected to score over 8 points, but I have a feeling it'll be closer to 3 or 4. Regardless, I think the loss of Peyton Manning is a really tough blow for Points, and Chalupa will get the victory here. Jupe Stars versus the Raffy Bombs. If the Jupe Stars are looking to regain some pride, then this may be the week to do it. Currently projected to win the matchup, the Jupe Stars could play early season spoiler and make it very tough for the Raffy Bombs to make the playoffs by bringing their record to 3-6. My prediction for this matchup is conditional. If the Raffy Bombs pick up a kicker and start Vincent Jackson, Matt Forte, and Aishan Jeffrey, I'm picking them to win. If not, I'm going with the Jupe Stars. Caught Red Hernandez versus Val Venus. Excuse me. I know it's only been 1 week, but it already looks like the trade for Josh Gordon has favored Caught Red Hernandez. After a solid debut performance, Gordon will be added again for Hernandez in a matchup against a Val Venus squad that will be without MJD, Demarius Thomas, and the Denver defense. It's also very possible that Arian Foster won't be able to go this week due to injury. Bye week issues won't be as much of a problem for Hernandez, and seeing as how they already have a stronger overall roster, I'm going with the smart money in this one, meaning a Hernandez win. Next up, Bono's Football versus my password is Taco. If there was ever an opportune time to end Bono's Football's 5-game winning streak, this is it, with 5, yes you heard that correctly, 5 players on bye, including 4 every week must-starts, Reggie Bush, Vernon Davis, Megatron, and Wes Welker, as well as Michael Floyd. Bo is ripe for the picking, and who better to take Bo down than my password is Taco. While Taco is without the services of CJ Spiller and Andre Ellington, I still think they will come away from this one with a victory. If Bo does win with all of those guys out of action, then I will actually fear for my fantasy football life. Game of the week. The game of the week this week, The Walking Dead versus the All Blacks. So this features managers who are the best of friends off the field, but the worst of friends on it. The compete level between these guys is through the roof, and that intensity should transcend down to their rosters, making for a great matchup. The Walking Dead will be without Colin Kaepernick this week, but ironically, they have a solid backup option in Alex Smith. The other bye week issues for Dez, Larry Fitz, and Peyton Hillis are almost not even worth mentioning at this point. As for the All Blacks, they only have one player of note on bye, Matthew Stafford. The bigger problem here is that they don't have a backup QB on their roster. That means that the All Blacks will have to pick up a QB this week, and after quickly checking the waiver wire, the only real options are Tannenhill, Flacco, Roethlisberger, and McCown. So I'm curious to see who the Blackies decide to roll with. Cutting to the chase, I think the Walking Dead will continue their resurgence and win this matchup, not only because of the fact that the All Blacks will need to pick up a QB, but also because of the fact that I just don't think the All Blacks running backs can compete with those of the Walking Dead. So that's the way I see it all shaping up for this week, boys. Have a happy Halloween!